Honorable members, let's pray. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and that good purpose human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty are away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, item 4, correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. We will start with the correction of votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 28th February 2023. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Honorable member, are you standing for me to recognize you? You have been on your feet for some time.
Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear it properly.
Oh,
I apologize.
senior member, Honorable Atachia.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
You are at your wrong seat. That's why I can recognize you.
I apologize profusely.
Thank you, thank you. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Yes, Honorable Ablakwa.
I'm most grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, at page 11, just before item number 9, adjournment, the rendition here is that sitting was suspended at 2:52 p.m. and then sitting resumed at 8:05 p.m. The practice of the House, as I've observed over the years, is that when we are suspending for committee of the whole sitting, it is stated expressly that the House took a suspension for a committee of the whole meeting. That's even last week, I recall that that's how it was captured. But I see a departure here where this is just suspension and then resumption at 8:05 p.m. I acknowledge that on the next page there's a supplement of the committee of the whole meeting, but I thought that we will be consistent with what has been the practice of the House.
I'm trying to recollect what you refer to as the practice. I don't recollect that we always suspend for a committee of the whole meeting. That is always stated. If we start that practice, then anytime we suspend, they must follow with a reason for the suspension. And when I'm even under pressure and I suspend, then it has to be stated. That I don't think will be a very good practice. I think if it happened last week, then table office, you have to relook at it. We suspend, we don't state the reason for the suspension. There are many reasons why we suspend. And some may not be necessary for the knowledge of even members or the public. So I think we should leave it as it is, sitting suspended at 2:52 p.m. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the direction that you provided, except that the member really was calling for consistency. I don't really recall the incident that he's referring to, the date. So I guess we can leave that to the table officers to reconcile the position so that it doesn't appear that we are resorting to different processes and procedures on one day, and another day we are resorting to another process and procedures. So let's leave it with the table officers to do the reconciliation.
We have a problem. The front bench of the majority have a problem with their mic. So sometimes I struggle to hear what particularly the majority leader says. And I see he also struggles to hear what I say. I have called on the technical people to work on it, but it looks like there's still no improvement. He almost repeated exactly what I said, and I've really directed the table office to look at it, whether the issue of consistency they raised, it happened. But I don't recollect, like the majority leader also says, he doesn't recollect that. So cross-check on that and let's get what is right. But the right position is that the reasons for suspension should not be stated. Honorable members, page 12. Let's listen to a different voice now before Honorable Ablakwa. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, item 1 on page 12, the last of item 1, where it said that of the ECOWAS identification card registration into bracket Ghana card. I don't know if there is anything called Ghana card. Even the card that we use that has been given to us is ECOWAS identification card and not Ghana card. I don't know where we've captured it. We are always capturing Ghana card, Ghana card. Even when the Electoral Commissioner came yesterday, in her report, she stated Ghana card. Is a card Ghana card or national identification card, or ECOWAS card? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, right, Mr. Speaker, I very much appreciate the concern raised by Honorable Bajra, except to add that the Ghana card terminology has become quite a popular refrain. That has become the other name for the, officially is the ECOWAS identification card. But on the streets, in our constituencies, everybody, popularly refers to it as a Ghana card, Ghana card. So I think that once it has been put in brackets after the actual name, the official name, I think we can let it pass, just for clarity that we are referring to the Ghana card. I do not think that it really hurts. Once the ECOWAS identification card has been properly captured, I think we can let it pass. If Honorable Bajwa doesn't mind.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. If you look at the same page, paragraph 1, 3 ministries were invited. In other words, 3 bodies were invited: the Electoral Commission, NIA, and the Finance Ministry. Paragraph 2 captures the attendees well, but in paragraph 1, the Minister of Finance is surprisingly missing. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ from what my colleague Honorable Okujeto said. This is a house of records, and I'm sure whatever we do must appropriately capture any official titles accorded. We must not, for the sake of complaint. We have popular misconceptions. Something that is popular is not necessarily true or right. I think there's a distinction between that. Mr. Speaker, I say this conscious of the fact that legal issues have cropped up sometimes along the line. I used to remember some years ago we had a cigarette called 555, but the popular name was 55. The matter went to court in respect of that matter, and the one who was dealing with 55 lost because the real name was 555. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the name should be captured appropriately as it has been labeled, so that we don't have any offense of dealing with it in there. Mr. Speaker, it's better for me to prevent you from holding my hand than for me to use my strength to wrench myself free. I think that if it's possible to do what is proper before we are taken to task on it, it's better for us. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the that we all hold bears the inscription ECOWAS passports, but it is referred to as a Ghana passport anyway. In this particular case, the law recognizes it, the terminology Ghana card. If you look at the instrument, section 1 of LI 2111, it's captured there that is to be known as Ghana card. Ghana card in brackets. So if it is done that way and it's captured in brackets, it's the same thing. The law so recognizes it. It's not just the terminology in the streets. The law recognizes it.
Yes, Prof.
Honourable Speaker, thanks for the clarity being brought to the matter by our revered leader. I also want to find out from you if the CI is 2023 or 2022. Thank you. Because it is captured here on the third line, the National Identification Authority on the Draft Public Elections, into brackets, registration of voters regulation 2023. I thought that we've been dealing with this since last year. So I don't know whether it is 2022 or 2023. Thank you.
Actually, you haven't seen the draft yet. They have it. I haven't seen it. I got a box in which was alleged to be copies of the drafts. I didn't open it. It was referred to the clerk's office to reply to the Electoral Commission. So I don't know whether the year written there is 2022 or 2023. I think the table office, the table office is in a better position to clarify this, whether it's 2022 or 2023. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, as you do know, there was an attempt to introduce this in the House last year. So it bears 2022. However, as we do know of constitutional instruments and of all regulations, the date will come after the date of Gazette. And the date of Gazette is what then will carry, ultimately. So that is what it is. So for now, the draft before us is 2022. And to the extent that it may be approved in 2023, thereafter, when it is introduced in the House, as the Constitution provides, the Speaker, with respect, Articles 11(7), that any other rule or regulation made by person or authority under a power conferred by this Constitution or any other law shall, and C says, come into force at the expiration of 21 sitting days after being so laid, unless Parliament, sorry, I should have read B. It shall be laid before Parliament, be published in the Gazette on the day it is laid before Parliament. So when it is laid, that date then would describe the instrument. For now, what we have is the draft, which bears 2022.
Yes.
Right, Honourable Speaker, please, I also want to add that the report of the Special Budget Committee, a copy of which I have here, which is the basis which recommended that we should have a committee of the whole further pre-laying deliberations to invite the relevant institutions, NIA, the Electoral Commission, and then the Finance Minister, in their recommendations. Mr. Speaker, that report, which formed the basis for the further engagement we have been having, refers to the draft CI as the constitutional instrument public election, registration of voters regulations 2022. So I will suggest, if it pleases you, Mr. Speaker, that what we should be working with should be what is contained in this report, the special budget report, which is the draft CI 2022. In that case, we need to amend what is here. The 2023 should be 2022, since that is what we are working with, the recommendation from the Special Budget Committee.
Well, the Special Budget Committee was written in the last meeting. The agenda for this meeting actually captures it as 2023. It says draft public elections, registration of voters regulations 2023. You look at the agenda of business for this meeting. I think that's what the table office is following. As I said, the instrument is not yet before the House. And so when it comes, we'll definitely get the correct rendition of the title of the instrument. So let's leave it as it is, and then we can proceed. With this, we move on to page. Honourable Member.
Madam Speaker, I do understand the explanation you proffered, but in that case, is it also possible that since you are not sure of which dates we have to use, to leave it open? This is a suggestion I'm just proposing or want to find out.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I think it's clearly explained that we know the date that we are working on. In fact, when it is gazetted, that's when the date will be determined. But now we are working on it 2023. So your explanation is that we leave it as it is. So there isn't a question of whether we know the date or not. We know that we are working on it this year. And the Speaker has ruled that we leave it 2023. And I think, Mr. Speaker, that should be okay.
Yes, please.
Right Honorable Speaker, I noticed that you wanted to move on from page 12, but my honorable colleague raised a matter which I also intended to raise earlier, which relates to the guests we had at the Committee of the Whole.
Yes.
It was
yes.
briefing from 3 entities, NIEC and the Finance Minister, to give assurances on financing of the NIA cards. So, the Speaker, the way it's been captured here is as though our guests were 2. Even though I note that the Finance Minister has been stated at paragraph 2I, that he was in attendance. I think he did more than just being in attendance. He was written to appear before us and to give assurances. So if we could amend paragraph 1 to reflect what was your directive, that these 3 entities, that is the Ministry of Finance, the National Education Authority, and the Electoral Commission, appear before the Committee of the Whole. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, thanks for the reminder. I think our attention was drawn to it earlier. Cable Office kindly insert the Ministry of Finance as a 3rd institution that was invited to appear before the House and the Committee of the Whole. Page 13. Yes.
Right, Honourable Speaker, please, item number XVII at page 13. Mrs. Ekuya Chineboa Asare, head of portfolio, the spelling of portfolio, the T is missing. Mr. Speaker, if portfolio can be corrected so that we would have head of portfolio management, identity management systems. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Cable Office kindly do the right thing. Please correct it accordingly. Page 14. Oh, sorry. We are adjourned at page 13. Please, honorable members, the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 28 February 2023 are adopted as a true record of proceedings subject to the corrections. We will move on to official reports. I have a copy of the official report of 19th July 2022, that is on Tuesday. Any corrections? Yes, Honorable Blakwa.
I'm grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, please, at column 24, the 3rd paragraph, my statement on Nelson Mandela International Day, I referred to Oliver Tambo, the 3rd paragraph. Oliver Tambo has been captured wrongly. What is here, Oliver Tambe, doesn't exist. It should be Oliver Tambo.
You said third paragraph, right?
Yes, please, the 3rd paragraph. The 5th line of the 3rd paragraph.
Yes. Oliver Tambo, not Tambe. Please, Table Office, take note of that. Yes.
Honourable Speaker, respectfully, I'm holding the same official report, but what I'm holding doesn't have columns 21 and 22. I don't know whether it is only mine or others also have same problem? And also no columns 35 and 36. Sorry?
I think it's your copy because I have all.
Oh, then I'm unlucky.
Yes, please kindly get a change of your copy. Honorable members, any further amendments? Any corrections? Honorable members, the official report of Tuesday, 19th July 2022, as corrected, is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honorable members, we have in our midst a distinguished delegation from the West African Regional Parliamentarians Forum, and they are here on a visit. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the members of this delegation who are here on an academic program. They are here, among other things, to discuss roles of both parliamentarians and defense and security officials in oversight, accountability, and outreach processes. The program is further intended to create a platform for networking between honorable members of this House and their West African counterparts, with the aim of deepening relations. Honorable members, please. There are actually about 70 of them in the country, and some are in the public gallery, but we have some of them seated at the distinguished guest gallery. I can only introduce those at the distinguished visitors gallery, but forgive me if I'm unable to read the names of all the 70 members of the delegation. But to my left, you can see them at the public gallery. I hope leadership is listening. So I start with those at the Distinguished Visitors Gallery. And the first is Honorable Mahmoudou Lamine Diallo. He's the Vice President, National Assembly of Senegal. We have Honorable Suleiman Sahu, the Member of Parliament for the Gambia. Honorable Kadidiata Diallo, the Member of Parliament for Mauritania. Honorable Issa Flomina Ferrara Suarez da Costa, the Member of Parliament for Well, we say Cape Verde, but here is Capo Verde. Then we have Honorable Sahr Joanna, the chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Security of Senegal. We have Ms. Amanda Dory. She is the director, ACSS. And we have Honorable Munkaila Issa, President, Defense and Interior Commission of Niger. Honorable Tomin Alexia Kokuse, the Vice President of the Defense Security Commission of Côte d'Ivoire. Honorable Yauvi Atiegbe Ihu, President of the Defense and Security Commission of Togo. We have Mr. Kabir Adamu, Special Advisor to the President of the Senate of Nigeria. For some days now, they were having some serious elections. All is well that ends well. We have Mr. Zie Primail Ouattara. He is an interpreter to the group. And as I said, the rest of the other members are seated at the public gallery to my left. It's important you acknowledge their presence. And on your behalf, I want to warmly welcome all of them to the Parliament of Ghana and to wish them fruitful deliberations with the academia and also members of this House. Honorable members, I've just been informed that the Honorable Sahir Joanna is the Chairman, Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Security of Sierra Leone, not Senegal. I'm sorry, that was what I was given. Thanks so much for the correction. How many of you know the meaning of Sierra Leone? Yes? Current affairs. How many of you know the meaning of Sierra Leone? Yes. Honorable Mama Yarga.
The Lion Mountain.
Lion
Mountain.
Correct, for 3 points. Yes, that's the benefit of being a member of the ECOWAS Parliament. Yes.
I was saying that we send him to the ECOWAS Parliament, and of course you should know that. If you have not known, we will draw him from ECOWAS Parliament.
Well, I'm not too sure about you withdrawing him from that Parliament. Yes. Yes, after this, go and do some research on Sierra Leone. There are a lot of things you learn about that country. Honorable members, I hope you find time to interact with the members of the delegation and establish the person-to-person relations, not just country to country or parliament to parliament. The person-to-person relations are usually very important, very enduring, and more beneficial. But once again, you are most welcome. I hope you take time to go around, at least, if not the country, but the city of Accra. Once again, you are welcome. Honorable members, we now move to item 5. And we will start with the main questions, which are all under item 6, to the Minister, not of Finance, but Works and Housing. This morning, I received a letter from the Minister for Finance drawing my attention to the fact that today he will be caught up in a meeting with the delegation from the People's Republic of China. Obviously, you know the purpose for that meeting. They are here and they will be engaging the ministry from first, that is today and tomorrow, on discussions on our debt restructuring program. So the minister has to be there personally. He requested that we shift the questions to Friday, the 3rd of March, and I readily granted the permission. So that is the information for members. So we'll take the questions, main questions under item 6. Item 6. Yes. Deputy Minority Leader, any problem?
Mr. Speaker, I think I cited the letter from the minister. A very good reason why the minister is not here. And so we will allow the Works and Housing Minister to start with the questions. But Mr. Speaker, as you know, this House is not impressed with the record of the Minister of Finance attendance, but we will allow that letter to stand, as you know.
Deputy Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I know my respected colleague opposite me expects that people treat him fairly in terms of choice of words. And I have taken note of his concerns about some approach in dealing with issues of disagreement. But I would beg him to withdraw the aspect of his statement. Quote, "This House is not impressed." If you are talking about your own impression about the minister, say so for the record. But don't let Hansard capture the phrase, "This House is not impressed." This House is a House of 275 members. And I do not know of anything untoward that has been done by the finance minister to warrant this statement from you on behalf of the entire House. The minister, as courtesy demand, has written to Mr. Speaker, and Mr. Speaker has read it out aloud and in extenso to us as a House. So I do not think the least you can do is to say that the House has not been impressed with his conduct. What did he do? Mr. Speaker, I beg that that aspect of his statement be withdrawn or is expunged from the records. It's needless, with the greatest respect.
Mr. Speaker, the respected Deputy Majority Leader is always not paying attention. His rise to fame is through basically twisting people's words. Mr. Speaker, I was very clear about what I said. I was talking about attendance. We are talking about the Minister of Finance's presence today. We have a letter that says that he's engaged, a very important engagement. I accept that. But I said this House, and of course, I was speaking in terms of this side of the House, is not impressed with his attendance. What is wrong with that? So, Mr. Speaker, I don't withdraw that statement because that is what I believe in. If he has a problem with that, he can just modify that statement. But that is what we believe, that his attendance in this House is not impressive. But that is not to say that today's absence has not been justified.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, he who comes to equity must first do equity and must come with clean hands. You see, the Deputy Minority Leader is a very sensitive person who is sensitive to words. Now you're saying that a statement that you boldly made, that this House is now being qualified or modified to mean your side of the House. If that is what you meant, why didn't you say so? And you are not courageous and honorable enough to accept your mistake. Then you now say that somebody's rise to fame is through twisting people's statement. I didn't twist your statement. And I would not use that to rise to any fame. I don't need it. I would want to earn it through hard work and merit. So with the greatest respect, it is your statement that I sought to get you to clarify. The Honorable Minister of Finance is a human being like you, a Ghanaian like you. He is also sensitive. In any event, if your side has not been impressed by him, what has he done? Let's be fair. Let us be fair. What has the Honorable Finance Minister done that you are not impressed with? Yesterday he was with us all day. Last week he was here. Let's be fair. What did he do that you describe as he has not been attending to Parliament? And you are sensitive. You see, Mr. Speaker, whilst on my feet,
resume your seat.
Whilst on my feet, colleagues get up, will not speak to the mic. At least it is only fair that you listen to me, and if you disagree, you catch Mr. Speaker's eye. But Mr. Speaker, it's not about the talking and rising and talking and talking. It doesn't help. When Honorable Ama Kofibo was on his feet, I kept quiet and listened to him and paid attention to him so that I would respond. That is the way we do it. So, Mr. Speaker, all I'm saying is that the statement made against the Honorable Finance Minister is uncalled for. 2, it is unfair to his reputation. Because this is Hansa. 30 years, 40 years from now, students of jurisprudence would pick it, students of history would pick it, and it would be unfair for them to read that the finance minister fails when the need arises for him to attend upon this House. That is not correct. And I therefore submit again, Mr. Speaker, that for the purpose of fairness, that aspect of his submission, which has now been qualified to mean his side of the House is not impressed, and going further to say that the man does not attend upon the House, be withdrawn. And if he so chooses, he should apologize. If he doesn't, it's up to him.
Honorable Dr. Zaneto.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was rising to make a point of order, which was to mention the fact that if we are actually speaking with regards to the order is 92. I beg your, yes, anyway. Order 92-2 which says that it shall be out of order to use offensive, abusive, insulting, blasphemous, or unbecoming words, or to impute improper motives to any other member, or to make personal allusions. The Deputy Majority Leader, in rising to make a point about the Deputy Minority Leader, also mentioned the fact that he was not courageous enough, and I do not feel that it was not appropriate. I feel it was inappropriate to actually go down that tangent, given the fact that that was exactly the point he was trying to raise on the order which he rose in the first place.
Honorable members, this House cannot function without cooperation and consensus building. And so when members get up to speak, that should be uppermost in your mind. And therefore your language must respect your colleagues. Very important. The Deputy Minority Leader made a statement. The Deputy Majority Leader took an issue of it. He has come back to clarify that the use of the phrase "the House" meant this side of the House. That is the clarification. Then he also went down to say he was talking about attendance. That is, this House has a problem with the attendance of the Minister of Finance. It is right for the Deputy Majority Leader to contest that. But please, in the exchanges, respect each other. Because that is your impression. That is your view. And we cannot take that away from either of you. We will allow you to express it. That's free speech. And here, you are immune. There's immunity. Nobody can sue you for what you say on the floor of this House. The limitations are just a few. That's why we are using the term immunity, not privilege. Immunity. You are immune. And so please, when you are expressing your opinions or your views, do that in decent, decorous, respectful language. Please, Deputy Majority Leader, you know this issue has been hanging on for some time. And the minority leadership has made it clear that you are one of the problems that they face here. I thought that direct statement would have made you change your discourse. But yesterday, when I gave you another opportunity, what you said fueled the situation. I want to urge you to move away from it. Deputy Majority Leader, you are my son, a dear son to me. I want you to move away from it. But the case is that before, members took issue with the attendance of the Minister of Finance to this House. The Minister has since then improved on attendance. And in fact, he comes to sit here from morning till night. Particularly, honorable members, are you challenging the Speaker? I have always told you, monkey play by sizes. So you can play with each other, but not with the Speaker. I say monkey play by sizes. Yes, so please, let's acknowledge that the Minister for Finance has improved on his record and he's been attending anytime we invite him. In fact, he wrote to me explaining why he was absent. You have accepted that explanation. So let's move on. For how many days now, the minister has been with us from morning till night. And you know the pressure at the Ministry of Finance, particularly this time. So we should acknowledge that. We should acknowledge that. Is it budget time? Not yet. I want us to move on. Senior Prefect.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, particularly happy you talk about the sizes of the monkeys and the way they move together. Mr. Speaker, you make the point that the Deputy Majority Leader may well be a problematic issue that our colleagues have referred to. Speaker, you also, the same way, make the point that there must be mutual respect in this House. Speaker, is it right for an honourable member on that House to castigate the honourable deputy leader by suggesting that his rise to power has been influenced by, to fame, power, fame, has been influenced or has been piggybacked by his ability to contort and distort the views of other people to gain fame or to gain influence. Mr. Speaker, that could be asked.
Honourable member, I didn't hear that. His rise to fame.
That is the point. That's why we actually triggered this argument. That his rise to fame, independent, well, I use the word piggyback, but I think he said has been predicated by his ability, the Speaker, to twist other people's views and facts to suit the occasion. That is why he's risen to fame or he's risen to influence. That is what the minority deputy leader said. Mr. Speaker, well, of course you are here. Mr. Speaker, can I complete?
Please,
Mr.
resume your seat.
You have been in this House, Mr. Speaker, with the big boys like us, Mr. Speaker, for many years that, Mr. Speaker, you can recall. This House, Mr. Speaker, is disintegrating. It is. Mr. Speaker, there's so much shouting, there's so much animosity, no room for tolerance, Mr. Speaker, in this House. We're not being used to this. People get upset because these tantrums are thrown all over the place, and Mr. Speaker, the whole place breaks out into insanity. It isn't right, Mr. Speaker. But I'm happy today, Mr. Speaker, you make the point. Monkeys play by sizes, and so people should learn to play their role. He's laughing. He knows his role. Mr. Speaker, that is the point. Let's try and introduce some sanity to that. Sometimes, Mr. Speaker, I sit here and I get completely distressed. For all these years, Mr. Speaker, you were here, there, and that. We haven't observed this. And now, Mr. Speaker, I have been vetted through almost 2 weeks. I'm sitting here. They say they wouldn't approve me, so I'm sitting here. Look at all of this. Can you imagine? But I made my point. I made my point. Mr. Speaker, so, Mr. Speaker, I think I would invite you to ask the Honourable Deputy Minority Leader, Mr. Speaker, to speak to the point. Withdraw it. I am not saying that if he cares, he should apologize. But withdraw and, Mr. Speaker, apologize to the Honourable Member and to the House. It affronts the dignity of this House. It affronts the dignity of the leadership of this House. Mr. Speaker, these are my comments.
Please, Honourable Members, this morning I raised the issue of the difficulty of us seated here, hearing the submissions of the leaders. It's very difficult for us to get because your mics seem to have some challenges. So I didn't hear that the Deputy Minority Leader made some statements to that effect. I want to hear from him now whether what the Honourable Katie Hammond said is true of your submissions this morning.
Mr. Speaker, I rose again to basically say that what I stated earlier, that Honourable Afenyo-Markin was twisting it, because as you correctly stated, I was making reference to the minister's
please.
absence.
I just want to know what you said.
What I said was that Honourable Afenyo-Markin was twisting my words.
His rise to fame.
And that his rose to fame was about twisting words of people. And I was using exactly what he did as an example. Yes. Exactly what he did. But Mr. Speaker, let me make a larger point. Mr. Speaker, for the
Honorable
last 3
member,
weeks
let me
since I've
finish.
been here.
Let me finish with this issue.
Mr. Speaker, let me deal with this.
Please. It's unfair. It's unfair to say that the Honorable Deputy Majority Leader's rise to fame is based on his twisting and turning of what people say. That definitely is unfair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I respectfully will withdraw that. But, Mr. Speaker, let me state something. The Honorable Afenyo Makin, will have the courage to tell me, Honorable Kofi Bua, a 4th member of Parliament who has worked 20 years in the corporate world, who has served as Deputy Minister, properly vetted, served as a Minister of State, that I don't have the courage. I am a courageous man. That's why I've served this country so honorably. I've even been a Deputy Minister in this country. Since I've been here, you
Actually, honorable members, we don't, Honorable Deputy Minority Leader, we don't appoint deputy ministers or ministers of state based on their courage. So that one is not a good basis to say that because you served as a deputy minister and minister of state, you have courage. Courage is something else. So.
Mr. Speaker, it's courage and honor. It's courage and honor.
As for honor, yes, you have honor. I can see the honorable member for Ododo. He's been standing for some time now. Please, are we out of order?
Right, Honorable Speaker, no. I just want to also say that relying on the order pronounced by my sister and the order 92, I want to say that it is good you have intervened in this issue. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the leader of this House used words that are insulting to somebody like me. Because for him to say that this house is a house where we use brains and not bronze, it's an insult to all of us. It's an insult to all of us. Especially to us on this side of the house. But I'm saying that let us all, in the spirit of what you said, from today, respect each other and know that the words that we use for each other will be reflective of ourselves. So that if you know that this is a word where it's used against me, I will not be happy, you wouldn't use it for your colleague. I think that self-respect for one and the respect for one another, self-respect and respect for one another should be reflective of everything we do in this house from today. Because other than that, when these things continue, people outside will not see us as people who deserve the respect and the honor entitled to as a member of Parliament. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, you don't even listen to each other. When a member is making a submission, the others are in a very loud conversation. Then the next minute, you are on your feet and you are expecting to catch the eye of the speaker. I said the ability to catch the eye of the speaker includes good behavior. If I see you are not behaving honorably, you will never catch my eye. Please, I made the statement. I made it. And I used those words. brain and brow. I use those words. As I sit here, I have the stick and I have the carrot. And so, when I see the situation needs the stick, I apply it. When I see that it needs the carrot, I apply it. I use that because at that time, the House was generating into the use of violence, and that is brow, not brain. That's why I used it. So the majority leader just followed and captured on that phrase. I expect that that should be something that should be tickling your conscience for us to continue on daily basis to focus more on the brain than on the brow. And I'll continue to apply it. Please, we are always broadcasting live on daily basis. And the people who elected you here are watching you on daily basis. I'm aware of complaints of you undermining the integrity, the honor of each other. And I think that is not fair. We are all honorable members here. Maybe because the numbers are equal, you think that the strengths are the same. Please, there is a difference. I am only one, but I'm stronger than all of you. Only one. It's only when you come together and decide that you don't need me and you are able to vote together, then you can get 3/4 to remove me. 3/4. But I know you will never get 3/4 to remove me. So, honorable members, please, let's respect each other. Let's continue to treat each other with honor, because that's why you are called honorable members. Your colleagues are here from other parliaments and they want to interact with you. So let's just finish this job and then you can have the opportunity to interact with them, build camaraderie, and then let's move together as a continent. So I will not go far and I will not admit any person to make any comment on this matter. I've moved on, and I think that I've spoken for and on behalf of the majority leader in this matter of referring to him. I don't know whether you heard me, majority leader. Yes, so we'll move on. We have a lot of questions and we have some statements to deal with. We will start with question number 1593. The question stands in the name of the honorable member, Mrs. Teresa Ladi Awuni, the honorable member for Okakwe North. Honorable member, you may ask the question now.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Works and Housing what agent measures and the ministry is taking to address the drainage system around the Achimota overhead to avoid floods on the roads within the Okakwe North constituency.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Housing is conscious of the increasing risks of flooding in many parts of Accra. As you may be aware, Accra is a low-lying area, hence many communities are prone to flooding. For that reason, several projects have been initiated across the capital to mitigate flood risks, including the completion of construction of a 304 meters of drains at Apenkwa. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Housing, under the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, the GARID project, will be reconstructing 900-meter length of drain extending from the N1 road bridge to the new Achimota Bridge. The scope of works include the redesign and reconstruction of damaged slabs at Abofu and the expansion of the capacity of the drain to hold more water, storm water, to reduce the risk of flooding in the community. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the above, the GARID project will be undertaking community upgrade works in Aloboshi, including the construction of tertiary drains, which will help alleviate the risk of flooding. Mr. Speaker, the procurement of the construction of the works is currently ongoing, and it is expected that the actual construction will begin in the second quarter of this year. Again, I will appeal to the honorable member to add her voice to calls by government for our people to maintain proper solid waste disposal practices in order to curb flooding in the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, any supplementary question?
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker. Pending the full-scale implementation of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development GARID project, what contingency measures has your ministry put in place for flood prevention in the indicated areas?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the GARID project, as I mentioned, that's the available funds that we have that can address the flooding situation in your area, and it will start in the second quarter. Procurement processes have started. So we are on course to make sure that your flooding situation is under control in your area. Thank you.
The question is emergency measures whilst we wait for the implementation of this GARID project. The emergency measures that your ministry has put in place whilst we wait for the implementation of the GARID project. That's the question. You haven't answered.
Mr. Speaker, my explanation sought to suggest that, as far as our ministry is concerned, the GARID project is the immediate plans we have to address the issue of flooding in your area. That's why I
no emergency measures.
No emergency measures now. Apart from that, we are dealing with the Assembly, engaging them regarding the issue of improper disposal of waste management practices, and I think I also mentioned that in my statement. Yeah.
Yes, honourable member. Any further supplementary?
Yes, right, Honourable Speaker. How is the government ensuring that drainage system in Okankwe North is regularly maintained to prevent blockage and keep water flowing smoothly during heavy rains? How is the government ensuring that drainage system in Okankwe North is regularly maintained to prevent blockages and keep water flowing smoothly during heavy rains?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When it comes to maintenance, it's part of our flood control program, and it depends on the availability of resources. We are very much aware of the issues there, and as and when funds are available, we will embark on our flood control program to desilt the drains there to maintain, in an effort to maintain the drains there. Thank you.
Yes, your last supplementary question.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I am grateful and honored for answering my questions. I would like to appeal to your high office to accelerate work in Okai-Kwenov constituency, especially on the Abofu Aloboshi drainage system. Since the state of the Abofu drainage system directly and seriously threatens the safety of students of GH Media and residents around Abofu and Aloboshi. Thank you.
Well, this is not a question, so we leave it at that. We move on to question number 1664. It stands in the name of the Honorable Member for Madina, Mr. Francis Xavier Kojo Sosu. Please, Honorable Member, ask the question now.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Works and Housing the measures being taken to fix all drainages in Medina in order to prevent flooding and destruction of life and poverty in the municipality.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Works and Housing is conscious of the increasing rates of floods across the country, which is caused by the increasing rate of urbanization, indiscriminate disposal of solid waste substances, construction in waterways, and climate change, among others. For this reason, the Ministry has over the years implemented major drainage projects across the country, and indeed the Greater Accra region, to mitigate flooding. The Medina municipality drains are among the priority drainage projects of the ministry and were selected for construction in the 2018 and 2020 flood control program in a bid to mitigate effects of flooding endangering livelihoods in the community. These include Medina Zongo, Medina Maya Hot, Medina Redco, and Medina Race. There are also ongoing desilting works in the Medina and Adenta Sakura enclave. Mr. Speaker, the Hydrological Service Department, now the Ghana Hydrological Authority, has captured the continuation of the Medina municipality drains in the Public Investment Plan for Medium-Term Expenditure Framework 2023 to 2026. Subject to approval and release of funds from the Ministry of Finance, execution will be undertaken. Mr. Speaker, I wish to use this opportunity to appeal to all stakeholders, including Parliament, our traditional leaders, metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, and indeed the good people of Ghana, to assist government in our effort to curb incidents of perennial flooding in our country. As we anticipate the rainy season, it has become more important to ensure proper disposal of solid waste substances and avoid building on unauthorized areas, particularly in waterways, to curb flooding across the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to know from the Minister, given the fact that the drains in Medina was selected as a priority area, it means that Medina definitely is on the heart of the ministry when it comes to fixing of our drains. What assurances can the Minister give the people of Medina with respect to the undertaking by the hydrological services to migrate these drains onto their platform, onto their programs, to ensure that even within this year, 2023, we can see some activities or some constructions on the drains in Medina.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think I already made a point that Medina drain is a priority for the ministry, and all that we are waiting for is for funds. As far as we get funds, I can assure you that we will take the necessary steps to continue with the rest of the drains that are left. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I sincerely appreciate the minister's position that all they are waiting for is funds. What processes would it take for you to receive these funds? And I'm asking this on behalf of the people because just last year, 2 people lost their lives around Redco because of flooding. And so the rains will soon set in, and we can't also throw our hands into the air and say we are only waiting for the fund. What would it take for us to get that fund, and how soon can we get that fund for those construction works to commence in Medina?
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. How soon? I'm not too sure if I can respond to that, but I can assure you that the Ministry of Works and Housing are actively engaging the Ministry of Finance, and I'm very hopeful that we will get funds soon to start the continuation of the Medina drains and other important priority drains in the country. Thank you.
Your last supplementary.
That's so, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just to note that these projects have actually stopped for the past 2 years, actually, because up until 2020, some activities were ongoing on some of the hydrological projects. And so it's quite a bit frustrating at this point that the minister can't really tell the people of Medina when we can get funds for this to be done. We can only request of the minister that whatever steps are being taken to ensure that we get these funds, we do that. If it means that we can rally the people of Medina, the chiefs and the people of Medina, to the Ministry of Finance to ensure that those funds are released for the purposes of those construction work, I think that we would want to do that because the people of Medina are suffering on account of these drains that have not been done. The Speaker, I'll leave it there as a comment. Thank you.
Honourable members, we move to question number 1670. Stands in the name of the honourable member for Anglong, Mr. Richard Kwame Sefe. Please, honourable member, you may ask your question now.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Works and Housing what plans the ministry has towards